Have you ever been caught in a moment, perhaps gazing out a window or brushing your fingers across something that reminded you of him, when suddenly his name flashes on your screen? A message, a call, or maybe without a word exchanged, you just knew. Something heavy had fallen into your chest, only to later discover he was going through something intense at that exact time. To the rational mind, these things may seem like mere coincidence, but to the soul, they speak a different language. Carl Jung once said, "There are no coincidences." What we brush off as happenstance might, in truth, be synchronicity, a deep, symbolic resonance between two people moving through life, connected by something far more mysterious than reason. Jung believed these meaningful coincidences were not accidents, but signs from the collective unconscious, a hidden web of emotional energy and archetypes that links us all. And when two souls are emotionally tethered, whether through love, longing, or something unresolved, this invisible thread begins to pulse, subtly yet powerfully. You begin to feel things not entirely your own. Thoughts arrive like whispers from elsewhere. His sadness becomes your weight, his joy, your breath of warmth. It's as if your internal frequency is tuned into his emotional wavelength. Two hearts, separated by distance but beating in tandem, like instruments playing in silent harmony. This isn't science fiction. It's not the loud, cinematic kind of telepathy we see on screens. It's quieter, more haunting. It's an echo in your bones, a sense of knowing that can't be traced but refuses to be ignored. Jung's vision of the unconscious wasn't just individual, it was relational. It's not only what we bury within ourselves, but what connects us to others without words. He called it the collective unconscious, and within it reside symbols, images, and energies we all share. When two people are connected on that deep emotional or spiritual level, they begin to resonate, like two violins vibrating in the same chamber, even without being touched. So when you find yourself thinking of him, and he reaches out just then, or when your chest tightens without warning, only to learn later he was silently suffering, you are not imagining things. Something invisible is speaking beneath the surface. You may wonder, is he feeling something too? Even if he never says a word, even if he hides it well, even if he's moved on or claims to. This video, brought to you by Mystic Jung Insights, is for those who felt those silent ripples across time and space, for those who still feel the presence of someone who is no longer there, for the souls that have loved, lost, and perhaps never truly let go. Today, we begin to uncover 10 deeply emotional signs that you and that person may be thinking of each other at the very same moment. Not because you plan it, but because your hearts remain entangled beyond reason. These signs are not flights of fantasy. They are echoes of a truth your soul already recognizes, even if your mind resists it. Get ready, because what you're about to feel may forever change the way you look at those moments of coincidence that touched your heart too deeply to explain. When you're deeply bonded with someone, even in silence, your emotional landscapes begin to mirror one another. Have you ever felt completely calm, then suddenly overwhelmed by a wave of longing, melancholy, or joy with no clear source? Almost as if someone else's emotions had slipped into your chest. This, Carl Jung would say, is no accident. He believed that the unconscious mind is a vast sea, and when two people are connected, truly deeply connected, their energies ripple through that sea like waves from separate shores converging in the middle. You may feel something shift inside you, just as he's thinking of you, perhaps struggling with his own inner world. This is more than mood swings. This is energetic resonance. When you think of someone with intense emotion, that energy moves. It doesn't just stay trapped inside your mind. It spreads through memory, through the collective unconscious, through that invisible thread that connects souls. And if he once felt something powerful with you, his unconscious holds that imprint. So when you're overcome with emotions that feel foreign, yet strangely familiar, it may be his inner voice brushing against your soul. That sudden pull in your chest, the goosebumps that rise for no reason, the inexplicable desire to send a message, to reach out, to cry. These are emotional signals. You're not going crazy. You're catching a frequency most people ignore. Jung called this the psychic unity of souls, an attunement not of logic, but of spirit. Two emotional fields sinking like tides, pulled by the same moon. And it often happens during moments of emotional upheaval, when something inside him is stirring, unresolved, confused, afraid, or yearning. That storm, though invisible, creates tremors within you. But not all these waves feel like love. Sometimes what you feel is heartache, uncertainty, pain. That too is part of the bond. Unfinished stories generate powerful resonance, feelings unspoken, love never admitted, fears never voiced. They all echo in the heart's chamber. So the next time your mood shifts without cause, breathe. Don't dismiss it. Ask, is this really mine, or am I feeling something from him? That question alone opens the door to a deeper truth, a truth the soul already knows, because the heart recognizes what the eyes cannot see. And sometimes, when someone thinks of you deeply enough, your entire being listens, even if you never exchange a single word. Sometimes the universe doesn't whisper, it answers. You're thinking of him intensely, and a song he once sent you begins playing in the background. Or you walk into a bookstore, and his name leaps off a page. Maybe someone randomly mentions him in passing, even though you've never spoken about him. These are not mere coincidences. Carl Jung's theory of synchronicity describes moments where two seemingly unrelated events occur together, not because one causes the other, but because they hold a symbolic meaning for the person experiencing them. These signs don't shout. They arrive softly, yet strike something deep and ancient in the soul. When two hearts are bound in emotional resonance, the external world begins to reflect the internal world. It's as if the universe becomes a mirror, echoing what your soul already feels. You think of him, he texts you, you decide to let go. Then a memory returns, uninvited but undeniable. You walk past a stranger who wears his cologne. You see the exact phrase he used to whisper to you on someone's post. These are not illusions. They are emotional mirrors rising from the unconscious to the surface of your awareness. Why does this happen? Because the bond, even if silent, still pulses with unresolved meaning. Energy does not disappear. It transforms, travels, and reveals. The unconscious doesn't communicate in language. It speaks in symbols, in images, in moments so precise they feel impossible to ignore. And here's what's even more profound. If these signs are intensely emotional, recurring, and appear right when he's on your mind, there's a chance he's thinking of you too. Synchronicity, in Jungian thought, can act as an energetic bridge, a form of spiritual communication between two souls that haven't spoken but haven't forgotten. Still, it's important not to chase meaning in everything. Not every moment is a message. The difference lies in your intuition, that quiet knowing in your chest. If a sign arrives and leaves you breathless, wide-eyed, or shaken with emotion, it may carry truth. Ask yourself, what part of me stirred just now? What feeling did this moment awaken? Was this a memory or a message? When you learn to listen deeply, you'll know when the universe is echoing your soul, and possibly his too. Because if your heart still echoes his, it's very likely that somewhere, beneath logic and beneath words, his soul is still listening. When the soul cannot speak, it begins to dream. Carl Jung believed that dreams are not just echoes of daily life, but symbolic messages from the unconscious, attempts to process what the wakened mind resists. And when two souls share a powerful bond, they often meet not in words but in dreams. Have you ever awakened from sleep, heart pounding, because he was there so vividly that it felt like you'd actually spoken? Or dreamt of him with such emotional weight that you carried it with you all day? These dreams are not fantasies. They are emotional visitations, invitations from the unconscious to explore a connection that still breathes. Jung taught that it's not the literal content of a dream that matters most, but the feeling it leaves behind. If in your dream you feel warmth, closeness, love, or even conflict and confusion, those feelings are not random. They may reflect your emotional truth or his. When emotional energy flows between two people, it can express itself through the dream world. That's why you may dream of him at times of internal conflict or transition, moments when the bond is trying to reveal something unspoken. And sometimes you're not the only one dreaming. There are stories of two people, distant in life, but close in soul, dreaming of each other on the same night, one waking with tears, the other unable to explain why they felt so haunted. These are called mirror dreams, reflections between two unconscious minds resonating like twin flames flickering in separate worlds. Perhaps you are part of his dream world too, even if he never says it, even if he wakes and forgets. The unconscious remembers. And in Jung's work, there exists a powerful archetype, the anima, the inner feminine figure every man carries within. If you touch that part of him, even unknowingly, you may appear in his dreams, not just as yourself, but as a symbol of healing, of love, of transformation. These dreams are whispers from the soul. They ask no permission. They ignore logic. They appear when the heart's truth can no longer stay hidden. So if your dreams carry his image, his voice, or the echo of a moment that never truly ended, don't dismiss them. They may be the clearest evidence that even in silence, something real remains alive between you. In the dream world, time dissolves, distance fades, and two hearts, separated by waking life, may find each other once more in the sacred space of the unconscious. What if your body was the first to know? You're sipping coffee, lost in your own world, when suddenly your chest tightens. A rush of warmth rises to your cheeks. Your breath shifts. You don't know why, but you feel him, not as a thought, as a presence. Carl Jung believed that deep emotional bonds can transcend conscious awareness. They ripple through the unconscious and reach the physical body. Your skin becomes an antenna, your heart a tuning fork. You sense him before a message, before a call, before any external sign. This is not magic. This is energetic resonance. When someone thinks of you with emotional intensity, especially if your bond remains alive, your system may react. Without warning, you feel an urge to check your phone. You see his face in your mind's eye with striking clarity. You feel his emotion as if it's inside your own chest. Jung taught that energy follows emotion, and emotion, when directed toward someone who is energetically open, doesn't stay locked inside the sender, it travels. Have you ever felt butterflies in your stomach for no reason, or a sudden ache of longing that seemed to emerge from nowhere? Or perhaps just as you were about to text him, he messaged first. These are not just moments. They are part of a psychic feedback loop where two emotional systems respond to each other even in silence. He may not understand why he suddenly felt the need to check your profile or why he dreamt of you, but something inside him, his deeper self, knows you're still connected. This doesn't mean he'll always act on it. The ego may resist what the soul already knows, but you will feel it. Through shivers, heart flutters, breathlessness, or a strange calm that washes over you when his presence touches your field. Sometimes it's a wave of sadness. Other times it's a strange joy, as if his love is reaching across the veil of silence. So if you find yourself shifting emotionally or physically without logic, pause. Don't dismiss the feeling. It might be your body whispering, he's thinking of you right now. Because sometimes the most powerful messages are not written in words, but in heartbeats, goosebumps, and the invisible hush that comes just before something beautiful returns. Some signs feel like whispers, others arrive like thunder. Have you ever seen his name in the most unexpected places? On a billboard, a random book, or even a stranger's name tag, right when he's on your mind? Or perhaps a song with special meaning between you suddenly plays in a quiet cafe just as you're thinking of walking away from the memory? Maybe it's numbers, like 1111 or 22, repeating when thoughts of him arise, or phrases that mirror his words appearing on screen, on paper, in speech. Jung believed the soul doesn't use words. It speaks in symbols. These synchronicities are not evidence of obsession. They are invitations. Invitations to pause, to notice what your soul is trying to reveal beneath the surface. A strong emotional connection doesn't just live inside you, it spills into your surroundings, animating the world with meaning. The poster you see, the lyric you hear, the timing of a call. These are not simply oddities. They are part of a living pattern between two inner worlds that are still entangled. When these symbols repeat, especially during emotional moments, the unconscious may be calling attention to something unresolved, something that still vibrates between you. And perhaps he sees them too. He might not understand why he keeps seeing your birth date or why he dreams of your voice. But the collective unconscious, as Jung taught, is shared, which means if the bond is real, the signs may appear to you both, like footprints in snow from two people walking toward each other, even if they don't know it yet. This doesn't mean every coincidence is a cosmic sign. The key lies in the emotion it evokes. If it makes your breath catch, if your chest tightens or warms, if it feels charged, listen. The soul recognizes before the mind does. Ask, what is this moment trying to tell me? What inside me is waking up right now? Is this about him or about what's still alive in me? Synchronicity isn't always a path back to someone. It may be a path back to your own truth. But when the connection is mutual, when two people still resonate even across silence, The signs often appear like secret messages, love notes left by the universe for those who dare to feel. Sometimes you feel him even when he's far. You might be lying in bed at night, the world around you quiet, but suddenly there he is, not in body, but in energy. It's as if his presence wraps around you like a memory, like warmth that no one else can see. This is not imagination. It's a form of energetic memory. The body remembers, so does the heart. Carl Jung believed that strong emotional bonds leave imprints, not only in the mind, but in the psyche and the nervous system. These imprints don't vanish with distance or silence. They awaken during moments of stillness, loneliness, or longing. Sometimes it's a whisper of intuition, a quiet certainty that something is still alive between you, even without messages, even without proof. A feeling that says he hasn't let go completely, not yet. Jung described this as the psychic field, a shared emotional space where thoughts, feelings, and even intentions pass between two connected souls without a word. This is not telepathy. It's attunement, a resonance deeper than logic. Have you ever felt him struggling with something without being told, or sensed that he would come back before it happened? Sometimes your intuition speaks louder than facts because it listens to signals far beneath awareness. But here's the most tender truth. If your heart still carries him, if his name still moves something in you, if your energy still shifts when he's near, then you are not alone in that bond. Because when a connection is truly mutual, its echo doesn't just live in you, it vibrates in him too. Maybe he fights it, maybe he fears it, maybe he's not ready to meet it. But the soul never forgets where it has felt safe, seen, and deeply known. And if you can't ignore him, it's very likely he can't ignore you either. This doesn't mean you should wait, or hold on, or confuse silence for love. The soul deserves more than energy alone. It deserves love that is shown, love that is chosen, spoken, and lived. So trust your feelings, but guard your heart. And above all, remember, even if love must end in this life, the imprint it leaves behind is real. As Carl Jung wrote, "What you resist persists. What you accept transforms. Accept what you feel. Honor it. Let it guide you back to your own soul. And know, some bonds are never broken. They only change form.